I just woke up a little bit ago, so I might not talk as much as I had thought I would, hence why my first timestamp is that. But it is Mario Day, and I was stoked up enough to be able to do what I could. But hey, welcome to another stream. And in this stream, as you have seen, I'm doing a reaction, but albeit late, I'm doing a reaction because I didn't want to do a reaction on my anniversary of YouTube, so I decided to wait until Mario Day to do it. And it's sort of a good thing that I did because I'm going to not only react to Indie World, but I'm also going to react to some some things like seeing what the new Mario Kart World update is and showing you and saying my opinion on all the other games for. And you know what's funny about Virtual Boy is that I never even thought it existed. And, and that's saying something because the Virtual Boy actually had some Mario games in it, and a lot of the Mario games I have no idea existed. The Mario Tennis and the Mario Clash. The Mario Clash being like a 3D Mario Bros. Game. Technically, a 3D Mario Bros. Game. It's more like a 2.5D. Pretty much all of them are like 2.5D games. So, yeah. That's the main gist is I am going to do a reaction of Indie World. Much to the dismays, there is no direct. I'm not reacting to a Mario movie direct because I don't want to spoil myself any further on what the new Mario movie is going to be like. I want to see that blindly. I've only seen the first trailer where it's just a tiny opening to what the movie is, and then I saw the one trailer, which I somehow thought there were two because of that, where Bowser Jr. is one of the yeah. I thought Bowser Jr. was one of the no. I mean, I didn't think it was just Bowser Jr. is one of the foes that would be on it. So, new update for Switch Online. Apparently, there's a video on it. Wonder how short it is. Oh, not as short as I thought. I thought it was only gonna be like a few seconds. It's so it's so loud despite the fact that the other games aren't. So, guess I'm showing this first. That yes, Mario's Tennis, Virtual Boy, and Mario Clash is one of the games. I'm not gonna play that kind of Mario Tennis game because that kind of volleyball is just a classic Mario Tennis game that doesn't have much. It's just playing against foes. But the Mario Clash was interesting because I had no idea about what it was like until I saw it. And that, for one, the Virtual Boy is red and black, and that means that it's it's like dark red, but with black in it as well. It's meant to be some VR kind of game. I don't know if you can play it without that kind of thing. If you can, that's pretty cool. But I don't really want to play on Virtual Boy. But yeah, it's like nearly every one of those games being classics, and then I think Wario Land is just like the Game Boy Advanced. So when I saw that and saw what it was like, I thought it was interesting, but a game that I'm not thinking of playing all the same. It's like a slightly 3D version of Mario Bros. I did think the title case of that looks pretty funny. Just showing what it's like. It's like a Super Nintendo version of Mario Tennis, really. And then Mario Clash is a 3D like Mario Bros. It's 1995 too. And then Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the normal version. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is the Game Boy Advance game. Yeah, another game I won't play because I'm gonna likely LP Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Switch. Meaning the remaster. Honestly, it does interest me. Let alone the fact that Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a multiplayer game on the Game Boy Advance. Or, I mean, on the remaster, well, the Game Boy Advance wasn't multiplayer. It was solo player. The multiplayer, you play as Toad for the second player, but yet you still do a lot. So, I'm just going to instantly share my thoughts about all of it. And that is that it's interesting, but, like, I may have been disappointed in the fact that they didn't do a direct, but I did think it was sort of interesting for what they did show. They showed way more than I expected. They didn't show the release of Yoshi and the Mysterious Book yet. They already released Mario Tennis Aces, so the only game I care about is Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. And they haven't released that game yet. And many people would, or by many, I mean like Nintendo Land predicted. Shout out to that guy. That the Nintendo Land... that the Yoshi game would come out on May. And that there would be a new 3D Mario on November. Or October, I mean. November being Kirby. And then there's my prediction, which is, yes, October. But I'm guessing Kirby would come out on August. Or even July. And that the new Deltarune chapter is going to come out on probably July or August. Just like Kirby. Just like my prediction for Kirby. New Direct, I'm really hoping comes out on April 20th at the latest. But April 10th is my biggest prediction. It's still interesting that the very first Mario vs. Donkey Kong game, it does show health. Yeah, so it just shows everything that's happening. Sega Genesis I completely forgot about. That's where you play a lot of Sonic games along with Fire Emblem and stuff. It's funny that I'm thinking about playing through, for one thing, Final Fantasy, and for another thing, Fire Emblem. Because then I would get into the games and probably even try to play the other ones. Just to pass the time or something like that. Final Fantasy I've always been into, but I've never played it. So, because I've seen the ads and the first time I was actually interested was because of Cloud. And first time thought Cloud was from Fire Emblem as well. Because he had the same looks as everyone else in my... from my side of things. Here's my question, Nintendo. Where the heck is Pokemon Colosseum for the GameCube? Because so far, you did show Pokemon. I know this is meant to be a Mario Day thing, but you did show that there will be a Pokemon XD game. But so far, there's nothing about Pokemon here, and maybe I'll LP Wario World, but that's just me. Now I'm gonna do an Indie World reaction, but I just thought of conversing my thoughts first because of everything that's going on. The Mario Kart World update, for what I know, and it's not yet coming out, For one, as well, for Mario Day, they showed that there will be something for Mario Kart World in an open series to celebrate Mario Day. Or maybe that was just coincidence. Not gonna be a part of this, but Mario Kart World, Mario Day versus race, that already ended, or it's nearly ending, and I'm not really going to bother. If I was in that race, I would probably be in last because of all the tricks there are that I didn't even bother with. And then Coin Runners was the only one that seemed interesting to me. But, yeah, again, might not be a part of. And then Knockout Tour, if I was a part of that, I would pretty much lose. Because I'm no good at doing tricks. And then all of the... When was this available? I just want to know. It was available. Then there's a deluxe edition. I'm pretty sure that how much the game would be, despite how short it is like $80. $80 for this at least, and then like $50 or $60 for the. I could actually look at that, but I won't. Generation Pack, I'm very curious about. Thinking that would be like $100. I'm not gonna get it though because I don't like because of what I am. I'm not gonna say if I am because that would sound like I'm tempting to do it. So I will just say that as a Christian, I will not play Resident Evil games. If people suggested that to me, I would probably go against it and explain why. They said this was 15... Oh, wow. They said it was going to be like 15 minutes long. But wow. Here we go with that, with how long it's going to be. So, pretty much the remainder of the reactions and thoughts will go to that, along with just going online a bit to look at something. They did this before. I think it was like... I think this is the second or third Indie World. The first time they did was, I think, 2025. I have no idea what is copyrighted. And every time I see indie games, I always think it's gonna be some sort of experience, like for instance, a horror game like Witch's House. I always think it's gonna be like that. And they already opened up with a bang here. I was gonna shut up about this, but I can't help it. Well, dang. Gotta pay respect to these guys. That actually looks like an interesting game. I like how they said Denisha Tech. Denisha Tech. I'm just seeing what the game is. Sorry, I had to pause there to see what the game was called.
Hola a tothom, soc en David.
I jo l'Àngel.
Som d'Undercoders, l'estudi independent de Barcelona que hi ha darrere de Dance Attack.
Com heu vist, a Dance Attack viatges en un tren acrobàtic a través d'un Japó futurista i colorit, executant
there's
trucs
no
d'estil per aconseguir la millor puntuació mentre lluites contra bosses i alliberes les vies del control d'una megacorporació malvada.
Ens hem inspirat moltíssim a la cultura japonesa i en l'energia dels jocs d'arcade clàssics per crear un món que es senti expressiu, rebel i molt ràpid.
Avui tenim el plaer d'anunciar un parell de coses molt emocionants. En primer lloc, que Dance Attack sortirà el 17 de juny amb una skin de tren exclusiva per a Nintendo Switch 2.
I en segon lloc, avui més tard, tindreu disponible a la Nintendo eShop una demo gratuïta de Dance Attack per a Nintendo Switch 2. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Okay, so
All aboard for the latest Indie World. I'm Marissa.
And I'm Thomas. We're excited to showcase another packed lineup of new indies headed to the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems.
Forgive me, but I can't wait to introduce this next game coming to Nintendo Switch. Let's take a look.
Yeah, like I said, Switch
안녕하세요. 한국
and
게임
Switch
해발사
2.
드리모션의 이준영입니다.
안녕하세요. 아티스트 최은진입니다.
I'm gonna turn this
안녕하세요.
up.
프로그래머
You can barely hear
류성준입니다.
them.
마이리를 퍼피는 실제로 제가 입양해 키웠던 강아지 봉구와 함께했던 이야기에 꿈과 소망을 더해 만든 게임입니다. 가장 개인적인 것이 가장 창의적인 것이다 라는 말처럼
No, I didn't
마이리를
miss that.
퍼피가
I didn't
만난
react
발견
yet.
그리고 재해에 관한 우리 모두의 이야기로 여러분들의 마음속에 남게 되면 좋겠습니다.
게임 속 귀여운 강아지들은 팀의 모든 아티스트들이 쏟아부은 놀라운 노력의 결과물입니다.
마이리를 퍼피가 강아지를 좋아하는 세상 모든 분들의 마음속에 감동으로 기억되는 작품이 되면 좋겠습니다.
감사합니다.
There's an
Oh,
old
oh,
saying that
yes.
when you depart from this world, the dog who went ahead will warmly welcome you.
A heartwarming hope at the core of the wonderfully wholesome My Little Puppy, a new adventure inspired by the director's own Welsh corgi.
Play as Bongu, a rescue
I always
dog
love
and
these
Festus
kinds of
boy who,
games.
after a simple yet joyful life, crosses the rainbow bridge to doggy heaven.
After what seems like an eternity, Bongu awakes from a nap to a familiar scent, his daddy.
Embark on a journey to meet Bongu's dad, an expedition out of doggy heaven and into the afterlife that may hold unexpected dangers.
Just as Bongu's dad once rescued him, it's his turn to return the favor in My Little Puppy, bounding its way onto Nintendo Switch May
Man.
29th.
Like I said,
Next
I love
up,
those kinds
let's
of games.
take a look at some indies headed for Nintendo Switch 2, including some also headed to Nintendo Switch.
I'm so excited.
Like it says, it's like also coming to the Nintendo Switch. Just continue to rub the fires into our wounds, and just continuously say also on the Switch. I'm so excited for these kinds of games. They're not making Nintendo Switch 2 exclusives yet, so we might as well just continue to build up for when it actually does happen. I was gonna say that I love that idea for when they make games for I said rubbing fire on a wound, and I know it's rubbing salt on the wound. Is my mic working? I never even checked, because every time I always panic about my mic, since every time that my mic doesn't work, it causes panic in me. Plus, I don't like how my mic only works at times, and then 5% of the time it works on other apps as well. But anyways, yeah. I love that idea for My Little Puppy, not being from the developer's dog. I love that kind of idea. It makes it so much better to see. So, honestly, so far, I'm not too disappointed in this.
Heave!
Okay, I've seen this one.
Heave!
How to?
Introducing the high-flying follow-up to the ultimate friend
Heave
flinging
Ho
party
2.
game.
Grab hands, arms, or even heads to form chains of up to 4 players, then grapple and swing to reach the goal, avoiding lethal hazards and
I've
the
seen
deadly void
these
below.
kinds of games
Each
before.
player needs to grab and release at just the right moment to form chains. If anyone loses their grip, it can send the whole group to their doom.
There are 8 themed worlds to explore, thrilling exotic locations
I
like
didn't hear that. I'm gonna rewind.
like
I
a
was
medieval
yawning.
land, like a medieval.
Was it rewound by
It
5
can send the
seconds?
whole group to their doom.
There are 8 themed worlds to explore, thrilling
Oh.
exotic locations like a medieval land, a space station, and of course, a kitchen.
In each one, play with brand new mechanics like rocket navigation, coordinated cookery, and plenty of other surprises.
Swing into action with local 4-player co-op or online multiplayer, a franchise first. Plus, game share is supported, so if one player has the game, they can share it locally or online with up to 3 other players.
Hopefully
Get
you
ready
can
to
get it
get a grip
on-
in
on other
Heave Ho
systems.
2, launching on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch this summer.
Doesn't say when.
At the end of the day, there's nothing like closing up shop, throwing on some comfy clothes, and
Dungeon diving for wondrous relics?
I was going to say having a nice hot cup of cocoa, but that works too.
In Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, continue your double life as a crafty merchant by day and a fearless adventurer by night.
Will is back in business after an interdimensional collector seizes control of their beloved village and dungeons. Will and the other townsfolk are forced to find a new home.
Now, settled in the
Miss
town
Scratch.
of Tresna, it's up to
Interesting
you
name.
to set up a new shop and grow it into the thriving heart of the village's prosperity.
Dive into vibrant dimensions brimming with shiny loot and pesky enemies. Then vanquish them using an extensive combat system with different weapon types and flashy combos.
Don't forget your trusty backpack. It's your best friend while collecting loot, so make sure to carefully arrange your treasure to maximize your profits.
Trust your instincts to plot clever routes through your dungeon runs.
I love
The
these
further
kinds
you
of
delve,
things.
The greater the rewards. How far will you dare to go?
The branches
After
on
each
what you can
escapade,
do,
put your hard-earned treasure on sale.
upgrade-wise.
That's where your shop owner charm will shine. Grow and decorate your shop, get to know your customers, and set your prices to score the perfect deal.
Go from castaway to friendly neighbor, and find a new
Man,
home among
it
the
has a
stranded.
lot of
In
things to
Moonlighter
think
2,
about.
The Endless Vault, opening up shop on the Nintendo Switch 2 system this year.
Which means in the holidays or something.
We're the team behind Widow. Do you remember a time when your backyard and neighborhood streets felt like the entire world?
Yes, as a
Хоть мы и
kid.
выросли в разных местах, нас объединяет одно общее чувство.
It's
Это
like the
Фокси,
backyardigans.
сердце нашей истории, и она так-то собрала нас вместе.
Denn auch wenn wir erwachsen sind, ist diese Magie aus unserer Kindheit nie verschwunden.
So from all of us here, we hope you enjoy the game. Thanks.
Wouldn't it be nice just to slow down and get back to when things were simpler?
It sure would.
Well, in Widow, you do just that. In this cozy
Did they say
diorama
Widow
puzzle game,
or
you assemble
Voodoo?
wooden scenes piece by piece, like a 3D coloring book.
As you place objects in their correct spots, each scene slowly fills with color and comes to life, revealing charming animations and delightful surprises.
Follow the story of Foxy the Fox and Ben the Frog through a series of interconnected dioramas, each
Seems like
capturing
a very
unique
enjoyable
moment
game
from
for
their
other
shared adventure.
people, but
The
not
game adapts
much
to
me.
your pace while the narrator's voice keeps you company. Plus, plenty of funny characters and silly emotes are sure to put a smile on your face.
And mouse controls are also supported on Nintendo Switch 2. Settle into a world that comes together one piece at a time in Widow, slotting onto the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems this summer. The Unchosen has returned. Your village has been captured. All your friends and family
kinds
are
of games
trapped
are-
in corrupted
are,
crystal,
like, the most
and it's all up to
interesting to
you
me.
to save them.
Shoot, that sounds like an adventure.
A mini-shoot adventure.
It's a spaceship.
Take control of a swift and responsive spaceship as you blast your way through this modern, twin-stick shooting twist on the classic 8-bit adventure formula.
Overcome bosses in intense bullet-filled battles by
Dang.
finding primordial powers that soup up your combat abilities.
You can also upgrade your ship by leveling up, finding various items, and buying equipment.
Don't forget to rescue your adorable friends. They'll all help you in their own special way.
The primordial powers will also unlock exploration abilities that open up the map bit by bit, unraveling a beautiful world to discover at your own pace.
Explore lush caverns.
It's like an
ancient
adventure
temples,
mode of
and
Galaga
sunken
is what
cities,
I was
each environment
thinking.
full of its own unique treasures, challenges, and secrets.
Take on the Unchosen in Mini-Shoot Adventures, flying onto the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems later today.
Oh, really? So it came out a week ago.
What is the dark?
I don't like this.
Is it a place for monstrosities? For fools lost in the woods?
Another one of those demonic games that I will never play.
Nightmares come true.
Oh, I have seen that though. The Midnight Walk. I have seen that. March 26th. Yeah, I'm not gonna play it though. It looks too
Hi, I'm Bryce.
ominous.
And I'm Jambel, and we're devs on the team making Rotwood here at Clay Entertainment in Vancouver, Canada. We grew up playing games shoulder to shoulder with friends. Inspired by the moment-to-moment strategy of fighting games and the big bosses of RPGs, Rotwood was developed to recapture the spirit of those
Okay, good. It's a different game.
We wanted progress to feel like it comes not just from new gear.
I was
but
gonna
from
say,
you,
I
the
hope I
player,
didn't
actually
insult
improving,
these guys.
So that each hunt you learn something new that inspires ideas for your next run. We've poured ourselves into Rotwood, and we hope you enjoy
Hold on, I hope I didn't insult anybody by saying I
Chaos
won't play it.
rules.
And big old corrupted beasts drool in
Rotwood, a brand new side-scrolling brawler from the studio behind the Don't Starve series.
Your home's been overrun by some
that's
hyped
pretty
up
cute,
hostiles.
actually.
So it's time to take up arms and dive into the fray.
Master a diverse combat system that rewards those
It's like
who
a
sharpen their
mix
skills.
of Don't
Wanna get up
Starve
close
and
crush some enemies?
Binding.
Wield a
Not saying the
hammer.
rest.
Want to be a Deadeye that snipes baddies from afar?
Binding of my real
Take
name.
aim with a bow.
Practice and perfect combo attacks for each weapon type to reach your destructive potential.
Experiment with gear combos to refine your build. Earn epic loot through victories. Then use it to face ever-increasing challenges.
And you'll need all the help you can get. Boss fights are not just a test of strength, but of wits. Study attack patterns carefully to find their weakness, and use well-placed strikes to hit them where it hurts.
A little extra muscle always helps too. Grab up to 3 of your friends either locally or online, and face the rots together.
Choose your weapon and get ready to take on the frenzied foes of Rotwood, hacking and slashing its way onto the Nintendo Switch 2 system as a console exclusive later today.
Yep, it came out last week. That's a mighty interesting one. I like that. Oh, really? I did not think this was counted as indie.
Most of the time, I'm wondering if I'm doing what I'm supposed
Man,
to.
I never know what counts
to
as
have
indie
the
anymore.
optimal teenage experience.
I always think indie is like
Teenage experience is
RPG,
unobtainable.
horror, or whatever. Let alone
Because you know
just
the
games that
perfect
comes
song
out on
for every
Steam.
moment. What song would be playing now? I don't think it's been written yet.
And Deltarune. Wait, I think I've heard of Mixtape.
It's time to shine the spotlight on this
Maybe
brand
not, but
new
that sounded
action
so
RPG
familiar.
from the makers of Guacamelee and Nobody Saves the World.
In Blighted, the evil Sorcisto has consumed your village and infected the world with a deadly blight.
You are the lone survivor of Sorcisto's rampage, fighting to reclaim the memories of your people before you succumb.
But that same power can also be turned to your advantage. As you progress through this psychedelic western landscape, you'll accumulate blight by defeating enemies. The higher your blight, the fiercer enemies become, making combat harder, but also more rewarding.
Combat is nuanced and deadly for players of any level. Carefully time your attacks to weave through enemies, chain
So it's
together
another one
combos,
of those
and perform powerful
tactical
finishers to
RPG
defeat
games.
punishing bosses.
Uncover dark mysteries as you explore this
Yeah,
surreal
another
and
interesting
vibrant
one
world,
for me.
backed by a haunting original score.
It's like a 3D
Upgrade your
Terraria,
hero at
nearly.
checkpoints, or by talking to key
not-
characters on your journey. And if
not
you need
by
a helping hand, a
pickaxe
friend can
and
drop in
whatnot.
via local or online
just looked
multiplayer
cubic, so
for
that's
some
why I thought
two-player co-op
that.
action.
Harness the power of blight and
I wouldn't really
unravel
get a
the mystery
3D
of a
Terraria
twisted
game.
world in
That'd be quite
creeping
the.
its way onto the Nintendo Switch 2 system this fall.
Maybe I'll.
Hi, I'm
Nah.
Justin from
I
Prophecy
don't
Games in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Scott.
Georgia?
We
I know
love the
who
feeling of
lives there.
progression you get in roguelikes, and we were inspired to create an FPS roguelike in our favorite genre, sci-fi.
Sci-fi lets us imagine futures just out of reach, and in Dead Zone Rogue, everyone pulls you deeper
What would be
into
so
that world.
funny
Starting
is
with
if I
really
saw
cool
one
and
of
scary
my
shit.
real life
We worked
friends
hard to
in
craft
one of
rich,
these, and I would be
immersive
like,
atmospheres,
"There's no
unique
way!"
enemies, and snappy gunplay that leaves a lasting impact.
We hope you enjoy playing Dead Zone Rogue as much as we do.
A spaceship overrun with biomechanical creatures, an arsenal of modifiable weapons,
That
and
makes me freak
mysterious
out the
origin
most.
to uncover. That's what awaits in Dead Zone Rogue, a new sci-fi shooter.
It's like
that
in
combines tight,
movies where I see my
satisfying
real life
gunplay
friends and
with
I
strategic
react by saying, "Hey, I know
Select
that person."
missions and squad up with friends, or fight solo through a series of challenging rooms with support for mouse controls using the Joy-Con 2 controllers.
Gain perks and permanent upgrades by defeating enemies and bosses in high-intensity loops.
With hundreds of builds and a variety of foes, each run feels
With 40%
epic and
crit
unique.
All of
chance.
this is backed by a rip-roaring original soundtrack.
Fight, revive, adapt, repeat in Dead Zone Rogue, emerging from the void on the Nintendo Switch 2
Oh,
system,
dang.
March 17th.
Coming out exactly next
Before
week.
we go, let's check out some more exciting indie games heading to Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch.
I can't mute this because it's on the Switch. So, if this is copyrighted, then I'm sorry. I think I've seen that one. No, I haven't. I'm just lying now. I'm lying to myself now. Unreal 2, back on track. That one I'm pretty sure I've seen. Toem 2. They make me just want to sing! Wait, that looks so cool. A shopping game. The end of my birth month, too. Oh, it does show the release of the games. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta rewind because I'm curious. Did they show the games that were coming out?
Builds and a variety.
Whoops, sorry. I wanted to see if they showed release dates because I didn't see if they did
Before
or
we
not.
go, let's check out some more exciting indie games heading to Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch.
I'm gonna summer. Okay, they did. I just didn't see it. May, my brother's birth month, withers, I might as well say. Toem, which is available this summer. It makes me want to sing. I heard of ouchie or something. I already reacted saying this was available on the end of my birthday, which is interesting. Birth month, sorry. Outbound, April 23rd? And yes, it is like a crafting game. Like a real life scenario of whatnot. Not gonna say Minecraft because then you would be like, you're so wrong. July 16th. Wait, I didn't even see what the game was called. My bad. It's like a rhythm game. Oh, that was it. Wait, unless there's a final trailer. Wait, rotate. It's not a rhythm. It's not a rhythm fever game. It's Rataton or Redatan or whatever. It's a boss battle of rhythm. That's cool.
That's all for today's. Thomas, are you taking notes?
I have to. It might be a clue.
A clue
I
for
don't know what happened.
The last
My
game.
graph just bugged out.
Welcome to Mount Holly, the mysterious manor with locked doors and 45 shifting rooms.
In Blueprints, you embark on a first-person, genre-bending journey filled with a unique mix of mystery, strategy, and puzzles that weave together to create an unpredictable experience.
The mansion
Gonna refresh
resets
my
every
YouTube
day,
thing
and
real
every
quick,
doorway becomes
because
a
my
choice.
graph just bugged
so,
out.
manage your resources carefully to further your discoveries and get closer to finding the fabled Room 46.
Use mouse controls with the Joy-Con 2 controller to probe and poke at the manor's secrets,
Hopefully it's
unraveling
not
mysteries
broken.
by discovering letters, diaries, and other revealing materials.
Take notes
Because
and
now my
track your
analytics
own
shows
adventure
nothing.
in Blueprints, available on the Nintendo Switch 2 system later today.
Really?
We solved that mystery. That's really all for today's Indie World. We hope you enjoyed the games in today's showcase.
Okay.
A big thank you
It
as
shows it
always
right
to our
there
indie community
for
and
viewers.
partners for bringing their craft,
My analytics
adventures, and
graph was
imaginations
broken,
to
and now
players on
that I
Nintendo Switch
refreshed
2
it, it shows
and Nintendo
nothing.
Switch.
Follow our official Indie World account to stay up to date on all the latest.
Man, so many games that were available on the 3rd. Like, I think there were 4 games that were available then. Might be overdoing it a little. Good grief. I did not expect that. Also, I thought that this would have lasted until the 40-minute mark. My math is so wrong. I'm going to refresh one more time on my streaming thing, and then I'm going to express thoughts. Why is it broken? My graph thing is no longer there. It works just fine for the like, I'll unmute. Yeah, but my graph thing, because I don't think streamers really pay attention to it, but I did, and saw that my analytics graph just broke, where it just broke after, and it just, broke at like 3 minutes. Okay, there we go. What the heck? What the heck was that? I don't get that. it only blocked that because I did reveal copyrighted stuff or something. I didn't even know that. I was gonna thank the viewers that were joining, but the graph was broken, so I couldn't figure out who was there and who wasn't. So, yeah, I don't know what Mario Kart World's doing because I only saw that they're doing an update, but I was gonna look that up. But you know, I'm gonna even go on there to see if they did update it yet. I don't think they did, but it's best to just see. Even though I'm not playing the game, I'm just seeing if they updated it. I don't think they did. I think they're only doing that on... I don't think I've ever... Might have heard that before, but it just sounded so unfamiliar. I said it might have been on battle mode. Yeah, it's still the same. So they haven't updated it yet. Also, I think there was some new Roland versus mode that I never saw. Unless that was just a custom thing by Thumbnail. Yeah, that was just a custom thing. They didn't... Wait. Yeah, nothing. Connected means that's gonna be like in order. I just wanted to see if they updated it first and they didn't yet. So yeah, my thinking so far, I'm sorry, I gotta stretch it because like I said, I just woke up like at 10:20. Bad time, I know. I should wake up. I should sleep earlier and wake up earlier so I can stream earlier. It's even funnier how I planned on streaming 2 days from now at the same time as what I was trying to do it in the game I was gonna play with Kirby, and the reason why will be explained when I do it. Because otherwise you'll just have to wait until then. So yeah, that's the end of that, but it was an interesting kind of thing. Let alone that indie world wasn't half bad. The only reason I didn't react to it was because I was expecting. I was trying to find a word. Expecting disappointment, but there was nothing. It broke again, didn't it? Ugh. I'm just not gonna pay attention to analytics and just go to my stream stuff to see there if I get any viewers. So there will be a slight intermission, so I'm going to state that on my description. But for the rest of the stream, which I'm going to say I'm not going to do for as long as I expect. I'm going to be playing through my most favorite Paper Mario game, but fair warning, expect to be disappointed because my most favorite Paper Mario game might not be what you expect. I will say this, it's not on the Switch. So that will give you a big hint on what the game is. I even said it during one of my streams. Long conversations being a maybe, it pretty much did happen, and it happened at the time. Well, I don't know. It just happened. I'm gonna state that I do an intermission, but you'll be hearing the Wii menu theme because, gosh darn it, I already spoiled what the game will be then. Whatever, you'll find out. Yeah, and I'll converse for an even longer time on Super Paper Mario. Like, a lot of my conversation would be about that, but just stay tuned for one of my later parts in Pokemon ZA. Let me just tell you, I am sad because Pokemon Legends ZA did something that I was hoping they wouldn't do, which was more research. before going to Rayquaza was hoping that you would battle against Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza all at once. But nope. They just decided to make Rayquaza be the final boss, even though we all know what it looks like by now because it's one of the most popular Mega Evolutions. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen there. And I think by the Rayquaza thing, it's gonna be Mega Stone by Mega Evolution by Donut or whatever. And I'm curious if you get to catch Hoopa. Anyway. Darn it, I was back. I was trying to timestamp that perfectly. So, yes, my most favorite Paper Mario game, and you will heavily disagree with me on this, is Super Paper Mario. The reason why is because I have played this game for a very long time. So, yes, I'm going to say the majority of my reason, and I am going to lower my audio volume as well because of how loud this is. The majority of my reason for why I love Super Paper Mario, I said Paper Mario, is because of nostalgia, basically. Yes, I know. It's likely gonna die when I do this, but then there's this, and I think the Zard file is my speedrun file, because I know this was, or maybe this was when I was actually playing through it. I don't know, but I'm not gonna do that one. I think this was actually a file that's not a speedrun, because if it was a speedrun, the playtime would probably be like 4 hours instead. Or even 2. So, I'm not going to delete any files. I'm just going to play through the file that is this is a speedrun file. I'm going to delete this file and just play from scratch again. But yeah, the majority of the reason why... Never mind. Well, it's a good thing I still had this on. Wait, so where's my... Oh, wait a minute. My longest playtime, because I was trying to complete the entire game. I played through it for 58 hours because I was trying 100% everything. To prove it, I got every card, and I got every recipe. This still makes me wish that 100%ing the game would actually reward you with something on a file, but like I said, it was hard for me to tell where I completed the game. Level 37, 100 HP, and 20 attack for Mario, Luigi, and Peach, and 40 for Bowser. And then, of course, the chapters are all done as well, and I even read through all the descriptions. So now to the main reason why I love this game, and it is because, yes, I can say it's nostalgia, but the other reason is because it's like the 2D, 3D, it's 2.5D, you get to the third dimension as Mario, and it's the very last game that had really wacky NPCs along with really wacky enemies before they removed them and replaced them with just Toads, with only a couple of characters that are not random. And then, of course, Paper Mario the Origami King made the NPCs be Bowser's minions as well as, or technically Bowser's minions, but more often than not really not really the NPCs that are Bowser's minions, but I mean, like, not really Bowser's minions, and more like ones who are trying to do other jobs. Hence the reason why I would think that this game is a fun one is because all the NPCs are random, and there was only one Toad in the entire game, which was in the very beginning. And I have suitable reasons for why I like this game as well, is because of the quick menu. You don't really have that in Paper Mario. Oh yeah, you do. In Paper Mario Bowser Door, you have it, and in Paper Mario 1 you have it. Not really a good excuse. The item would probably be, I only got the gold medal as achievement enough. And yes, I'm gonna save at the arcade too. This is not it. That would just lead me to the underground place in the game. This is where I haven't even explained properly enough about why I love this game. It's the adventurers. I really like the adventure margin of the game, let alone it being the one and only Paper Mario game that is not only 2D, but also that you can just beat the enemies without doing a turn-based RPG. And honestly, it was something that I didn't like at first. I didn't mind it because I didn't know any other Paper Mario game. If I played through any other Paper Mario game, I would have no idea what to do in turn-based RPG. Hence why Super Paper Mario was the best game for me. I played it when I was 7, and beat it when I was like 10, I think. Let alone, I don't like how I have the memory of having beaten Super Dementia without taking any damage, and that was in my very first time recording Super Paper Mario. I have the greatest memories from that game, like talking about it with certain people, and even like doing titles, 100%ing it for the first time, even though that gave me absolutely nothing, and pressing B, and let alone just using the Wii remote and sensor bar, letting Tippy tattle on the enemies to have some humorous things to say about them, and then the cards have even more humorous things to say about them, let alone things that you would have no idea about. Super Paper Mario having so much in it that you would have no idea about. It's just that I cannot do certain things, like certain glitches, certain commands that you need a certain amount of pixels in order to flip into 3D and then flip back into 2D, and I mean the infinite jump glitch in Super Paper Mario. And then the other thing being that glitch for when you flip, and that's for chapter 1 too. I think I already showed that in one part. Thinking of, because I just thought of this, I want to see if anybody voted on my post, like what LP I should do as my 77th LP. I don't think I did, but I'm gonna see anyway. Nope. Because I did a poll, which was asking why should LP as my 77th LP, and that was either Super Paper Mario again, which would be my third LP of the game. Plus, I think how long I've played Super Paper Mario for, if there was such thing as playtimes, would be probably even like 700 hours. And I state that to that kind of extreme because I played Super Paper Mario so many times. I even did a reaction. No, not a reaction, a speed run of it very many times. That's why I'm going to that extreme and saying that I've played it for 700 hours. I might have even played it for longer. That's why I wish that I would know. Because it doesn't tell you, and that's very upsetting. So, I've stated it a lot in the finales of Super Paper Mario, but it's just, there's so much story. I know it's like a depressing story for some, but it's the story for me, like how you know about Tippy becoming Timpani, because she was actually Timpani the entire time, but had no recollection of that. And then Count Bleck was Blumiere, or Blumiere, but he removed that name because of having lost the one girl he loved, and because of that he turned into darkness. But when he finally found Timpani, he thought it was too late, but really it was too late, and they just proclaimed their final love to each other in the end, where they proclaimed that love along with the purity heart clashing against the chaos heart, and ultimately gonna say killing because it actually is a death of Dementio. Dementio died because he didn't want to lose. Only a shadow of his power remained in the Chaos Heart, and that's what caused the world to nearly be doomed. But the true heroes were Timpani and Blumiere in the end. And that thing in the very ending that they walked together down the hill. And I thought that was very sweet. It's like the first time I had no idea what it was about. Then when I finally realized that, I nearly cried. I think the first time when I played it, I nearly cried when I knew that they died. Even though you get Tiptron later, and that's technically, it's literally not even Timpani, it's just Tippy, but in a way different setting. And Tiptron even admits it when it says that's what she would say too. Like, I'll show that right now before going onward. Thanks to you, every world is safe. We are grateful for your selflessness and courage. At least that's what I think she would say. Yeah, because Tiptron says that, no, I'm Tippy. And I should know this kind of stuff. But no, there it actually admitted that it is not Tippy. So it said, at least that's what I think she would say. So that kind of thing was interesting, let alone the cost. I remembered when I was younger, when I first saw that you can get Tiptron. For one, I thought, it's Tippy! And I was like overwhelmed when I saw that. But I also didn't like Francis because I, back then, didn't like any enemy. So I thought Francis was like some no-good villain, and even called him supremely evil because of the cost of Tiptron, which was all of your coins, 999. But instead, it wasn't all that bad. Getting 999 coins wasn't that hard, and you could just get them again anyways, since this game is so easy to get 999 coins. So, yeah, there would be so much that I like about Super Paper Mario, let alone just seeing the enemies, a lot of them being enemies that aren't even Bowser's minions, like the Skelebits, and you even battle against the hilarious samurai-based enemies, Samur guys. And King Samur, I was hoping King Samur was a boss when I first went to his place, but he ended up not being a boss and instead gave you cards instead of a pure heart, because he said that the pure heart was already taken and the world was under collapse, so he instead gave you the cards from Paper Mario. Like the very first Paper Mario game, in order to get the cards you have to defeat every Samur guy. Very tough challenge because some of them are very hard to beat, let alone it's even harder than the Pit of Under Trials, because the only way to get items is by chance from the Ninjon, and whatever the orange one is called. I think I can actually find that. Ninjari? I think it's Ninjari. Still gonna look just to make sure. I'm gonna just be careful so I don't accidentally go over it. That was right here. Mr. I and Red Eye. Just seeing if I can find it. There they are. Ninjo, Ninjon, and Ninjari. That's the only way to get the... That's the only way to get those. I'm gonna turn off my sensor bar because I'm not gonna... Just like I said, I'm not gonna play any... Alright. I'm not gonna do any tattling this time. I'm going to just play through the game and not worry about it. I might do a new file as well, deleting the 9-hour one, and what I will name it is reflection, but I don't think there's enough characters for that, because that's 10 reflectation, because I think there's only 9 characters in the game. That or 7. It's partially why I wish that you would have been able to name it something like, and that's the thing that I wish they would do in Paper Mario games, is like still enable you to name the files, but if you name the file a word that is bad, then it doesn't enable it, and instead it just blurs out the OK, making people hate Mario, but at the same time making some people love it. It would be like, you cannot enter this name, it is highly inappropriate. So, yeah. That's what they did in Pokemon. It's like, if you name something an inappropriate name, it just says, so you're blank. So your name is blank. Anyway, that's about it, actually. Like, I think I've stated everything that I liked about Super Paper Mario. I guess the only other thing I can say is that the thing I loved about Super Paper Mario is, and I still do, is the many boss fights that you do. Because I know in the latest of Paper Mario games, Paper Mario Sticker Star, for instance, you don't battle against very many bosses. You battle against some mini bosses like Bowser Jr. and Kamek. But Super Paper Mario, you battle against so many bosses, let alone in Thousand Year Door. And, like, Thousand Year Door was going to be my most favorite Paper Mario game, but I still love Super Paper Mario more because I've played it for the longest to know that I loved it. I love watching the Thousand Year Door more than I love playing it, because it's enjoyable to hear people talking in that game and talking about anything realistic or whatnot. So, yeah, like, I'll still be counting about how many bosses there would be in Super Paper Mario, which I am now. Well, let me just do that, is count how many bosses there are in Super Paper Mario. Already lost count. I think I'm on 12. And then and then 5 more. So there's 21 bosses in Super Paper Mario, excluding the Paper of the Trials, where they added another 2, which is 23 at that point. Francis being optional to battle twice, but if you count him being an optional boss, then that's 24. That's a lot of bosses still in any game. I think that many bosses by themselves is a lot. And then the disappointing amount in Minecraft for you battling only 2 bosses in vanilla, but in mods you can battle so many of them. So, and then the rest of what I like about Super Paper Mario is, even if someone disagrees, and even if Super Paper Mario was the one that brought viewers to dislike me more, because they're like, no wonder you don't get very many views, you show boring stuff. I still like things that people would think is boring. I think the arcade is actually fun, and that the one that thinks it's boring is the one that doesn't enjoy it as much as they should. And yeah, crazy to me that Super Paper Mario has been my longest LP in terms of parts, but that was only because I chose to nostalgically play it for 15 to 20 minutes instead of playing it for 30 minutes. Where if I play it for 30 minutes instead, I would have probably done it in, if you think of the 2/3, because I think I beat it in 120 parts a bit more, then that means I would have beaten it in 90. It was crazy to me, but Super Paper Mario was never boring to me, so I enjoyed every bit of it. Pokemon Legends ZA is a game that I was so looking forward to beat, and if anything, there's like half and half in terms of downsides and upsides. Like the downsides being that it's in one place, but the DLC makes it more fun for it being like a roguelike. I actually like that idea. And then the other upside being Mega Evolutions. It's like it's not even the same for Super Paper Mario. The only downside is that it's not a turn-based RPG, and that it's sort of, and that 100% completion reward is nothing, is the other part. I completed the entire game and 100%ed it, so that you would never have to do it, and it gives you nothing. It just, I guess it's satisfaction that you've done it. Just like in Paper Mario, it's satisfaction that you've done it. It shows everything that you've done, which reminds me that I gotta watch a favorite YouTuber of mine's LP of Paper Mario again, because that was actually really enjoyable to see before. It's what inspired me to do LP Paper Mario originally. I didn't get every star piece, and if I did, then that would have satisfied me a little bit. Probably even gotten me to complete every part of the game, even getting every badge and stuff. I remembered that it was only the star pieces that I didn't 100%, because it would have taken me forever to find them all. Plus, it's the game that has the most star pieces. Super Paper Mario doesn't even have very many side quests. It only has, I think, 2. Or even if you count the Pit of Under Trials as side quests, then they had 2 Pit of Under Trials side quests, but more like 3 side quests, because you do the Flopside Pit of Under Trials twice. Then the Piccolo quest, which was very short, even if you have to do many favors. And then just optional, just going through the chapters again and seeing the changes that the characters have, like what they would have to say to you. And I did that for a Super Paper Mario thing, is showing everything new about the chapters. I sort of wish that the old bosses from before would, like every old boss would come to talk to you. And I mean, Fractail, Francis is there. And then Mr. L, of course, is Luigi. Ochunks is there. King Crocus is there. So I guess nearly every boss is there, but not Fractail. Fractail was already dead. And yes, there's actual death in the game, so I can say death over and over again. So yeah, that is that. I do like the... Dang it. And then there's that too. Like, I completely forgot that the shop owner is even new in Super Paper Mario, because in Thousand Year Door and Paper Mario 1, along with every other Paper Mario game other than this one, the shop owner is like every shop owner in Paper Mario games except for this one is a Toad. But in Super Paper Mario, it's not a Toad, it's Howzet instead. In all new NPC. And then I think the other one was not so. But just saying, even the chefs and the shop owners were new. And that's really nice. I really like that. Time for me to possibly bore you a bit, because now Actually, hold on. Here for story, stylish moves. So that guy just is the tutorial guy for knowing how stylish moves work. And yeah, if you get the Mario card, then you're able to stay in 3D for the longest time possible. Infinite. Basically, it's like a good old reference to Paper Mario games in general. I have enough tokens. I'm gonna see how I do in this. Remember that I actually tried to play this as every other character, but Hammer Whacker was always Mario. I did Luigi too, and then I made Tilt Island be for Mario, or Peach, I think. Bowser is not the right choice for Tilt Island. If you tried it with him, it's like a hard mode. And then Mansion Patrol I did as Luigi, so I'm gonna do this as Mario. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens. If I go farther than I expect, then I'll only do it once. I gotta raise these up. I gotta remember this game, it's been so long. I won't even be mad if I lose. I'm also gonna turn off my commentary just to increase the focus and up my volume. I love Hammer Whacker. I gotta say it. Hammer Whacker is my most favorite arcade game, and it's because you hear the theme and it gets you so focused, and then you go so far and yet the shells go even faster, so you have to have muscle memory. It's a lot for if you play it and then you have to play it so many times to remember the movements of the shells. They go slow at first and then they go fast. You have to get used to the swift speed. And I swear, I have beaten Hammer Whacker before. I think I even recorded it, but I was never able to do it again. If I did record it, then I don't know where it is. But no, this wouldn't count for a Paper Mario P. If I finally beat this, then curses. Yeah, I'm losing. I'm losing so early. Gosh darn it, I had it. I had the rhythm down. I'm not gonna do it again. I was hoping I was gonna do better than that. Because my hope was that I was gonna make it up to 50 at least. But, of course, my rustiness showed otherwise. I just wanted to show that real quick because, yeah, Hammer Walker is my most favorite arcade game. And watch the short if you haven't, but the guy explaining how fun the arcade game was happiness to me. Like, I was so happy to hear about how fun the arcade mode was. Like, Super Paper Mario's arcade mode is not like any other arcade. It's really good. That's why I really love Super Paper Mario, is because its arcade mode as well is so good. It's a really fun mode. So, yeah, and then there's like recipe discs that are hidden but not super hidden because they're only like it's like a few of them are only in flip side and flop side, but not all of them. Now I get to show you this guy that I had no idea about. I'm actually gonna let Tiptron point at the guy too because of the do it. I've already pointed to every NPC as well, and Titron literally has everything to say about those people. I wanted to show this again. Carson, the town informant. He loved watching cop shows as a kid and wanted to grow up to become an informant. The seedy shop and his gentle tone are all part of his shtick. So, this guy, I had no idea he actually tells you stories. I thought that he was another tutorial guy. I never actually listened to his stories in the bonus part. If I did LP this game again, I would be talking to this guy again, but I'm going to only listen to like 5 of his stories. I can tell you one I call Flopside Gossip. So you heard the famous charmer Merle moved into Flopside somewhere, right? If she casts a charm on you, good things happen when you beat enemies. Try it. Oh yeah, but I hear that something's been bothering her lately. If you talk to her directly and not across from the ball, she'll tell you about it. If you have some free time, why don't you go see what's going on with her? So that's just this is one of those. Oh, chunks. So yes, he tells you about this because when I saw this before, Flopside Gossip and all, I thought that it was just tutorial, so I left. I was instantly bored out, so I never talked to this guy again. He actually does have some things to tell you about certain characters. I did not know about this. Oh, chunks. I really wanted to know about that big lad. So, Count Black has 4 minions, does he not? The biggest and brawniest of these is one named O-Chunks. So about this O-Chunks, he was once the general of an army in a certain land. I hear he led a force of 1,000 strong across enemy lines. But one of his trusted advisors sold him out. And all of his men fell to the enemy. I guess that's when Count Bleck scooped him up. Bleck played upon his shame and depression to enlist him in his service. Cruel. Dang. Having heard about him being a general is interesting. So he was a general of an army originally. Dang, you would never expect that because O-Chunks is so caveman-like. Tribe of Darkness. Yeah, because we've heard of this. We've heard of this from those preludes that we saw. The Tribe of Darkness is those people that Count Bleck were a part of. The Darkener or whatever they were called. Norum and others, like him, are descendants of this shadowy, odd people. Long ago, they broke off from the tribe of ancients to live alone. They avoided mixing with other people out of pride, and no one even knows where they went to live. They were so secretive. There are rumors of a secret castle deep in the forest. Must have been lonely. Well, dang. I'll say this every time for the well dang part, because secret castle in the forest, and I don't think we've ever seen that kind of thing, unless it's the secret castle of Queen Jadis. Might be wrong. Mimi. We did know that she was a maid before, but let's see if there's other things to know about Mimi. The one named Mimi has the ability to mimic any person she wants to. She's so good at it that I hear she even sometimes forgets who she is. This Mimi, her true identity is shrouded in mystery. Some say she's a failed pixel experiment of the ancients. Others say she's the unintended creation of a witch. A witch who is researching potions that would allow shape-shifting. If you ever meet her, could you ask her for me? If only we could, but I don't think she would answer. More Tribe of Darkness. No, I'm mighty interested in these stories. Let me tell you more about the Tribe of Darkness I mentioned earlier. They started off as a group within the Ancients who had more magic power. Fearing their power would be diluted, they forbade marriage outside the group. Their power was considered an important resource by all of the ancients. But no one knows why their power was so important now. One day, they all just disappeared from the tribe of ancients. And since then, no one has seen them. Did the games end? All is now shrouded in darkness. That's what death is in games, like their games ending, so they didn't want to say death. I don't think they even did that in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door either. They didn't say anything about death and instead said something else. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do much more. Well, how can I? It's like at the moment I'm not doing more because I have the puppies. Me, I'm saying hello to them. If only I had my webcam to show it. The baby. The baby's right with me. Running out of smart things to say already, am I? Dementio. This was the one I saw on a short. Complex has 4 minions. One of them is Dementio. Well, it's powerful magic. I can press up, I remember. I don't know where he comes from or who he is. But I hear he approached and befriended the Count all on his own. Ooh, wait a minute. Because we did know that Dementio actually was not really hired by the Count and just decided to be a part of the minion squad, and then at the very end he turned around and became the final boss. I always love those kinds of games where the final boss ends up being the one that you would expect is a final boss, but ends up being some completely different character, either someone you haven't seen in a while or just the same character that you thought was a boss that was, or that you thought was just a boss and that it wouldn't have much more. But Dementio was the completely unexpected, really. And the Count even turned him away once, until he read in the Dark Prognosticus about the role of someone similar. Why was he mentioned in the Dark Prognosticus? Sounds fishy to me. I'm all out. Okay, so he doesn't even tell you about the fact that Dementio was actually one of the sons. I think he does eventually, but like he says more about Dementio. Final Tribe of Darkness. If not, I have no idea why. I have no idea why there was a short that said that Dementio used to be some child of that has lost his mother and brother. Like he had a brother and they were all lost and he was alone. Hence why he decided to join darkness, but even become the one to destroy all worlds is because he lost more than Lumiere did. And he hated people. He hated everyone and everything. He pretty much had vengeance in his heart. They did something so bad that mentioning them has become forbidden. I hear they stole the Dark Prognosticus from the ancients and hid it. But I don't know why they would do such a thing. Some say they did it to use the book's power to enhance their dark magic. Some say they hid it from others who would use it for evil. But I heard of the last person who was known to possess the book. If the rumors are true, then you know this person as Count Black. Nastasia. I think that's how you actually say her name. I always call her Nastasia, and I'm still going to call her Nastasia because that's how I've always called her, and it sounds even better that way. So as you know, Count Black has 4 minions. One is an authoritative young woman named Nastasia, his right hand. She has the ability to brainwash people by looking them in the eyes. imagine her being like a tech-savvy office worker, and then she just got hired by Count Bleck of the Blue. That's what I've always imagined from Nastasia or Nastasia, whatever you want to. I think Nastasia has two S's actually, so it is Nastasia. Like, and like Nastassia, and not with one S. So I think I'm saying it right. She can enslave even very powerful beings this way. And it seems none of the Count's underlings can resist her power. That's how she's able to order them around. She rarely expresses her innermost feelings, but she seems to love the Count. She has eyes only for him, you might say. I'm a little jealous. You do see her in Flopside, so, and you already know the rest. You point at her with Tiptron, and it says that Nastasia used to love the Count and is trying to move on from that. Her innermost emotions was shown at the very end as well. Flopside Piv on the trials. Have you heard of the Piv and trials below Flipside and Flopside? I hear they were created long ago to test the forces that guard the pure hearts. The Piv on the trials here in Flopside was used to study the powers of darkness. I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds pretty terrible. There's even a rumor that treasure awaits those who make it to the bottom. Do you have the courage to find it out for yourself? Okay, that one is just a simple one. Of bats and men. How about we change pace and I tell you a nice story. This is one I heard from in a distant land a long time ago. Once upon a time, a man went to look for the girl he loved who was missing. As he passed through the forest, he found a bat stuck in a trap. He set the bat free, and it promptly thanked him and disappeared. As he lay down to camp that night, he heard a voice and looked about. He noticed the sky was filled with a huge round moon. There stood before him a woman he had never seen. The bat had transformed into a species of the one she had fallen for. Huh. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but the last part of the story was the bat pledged eternal loyalty to the man out of love on that night. And that's the end of that story. I wonder what happened to those two. If I were to predict that, the bat is Tippy and the man was Blumiere. So that's why there was the of bats and men. And that's literally like a cover-up of mice and men, but in a way different term. If there's more to that story, I'd like to hear it. Creation of the pixels. I'm gonna do 3 more. This one being one of the 3, and then I'm gonna play the game from scratch or just end stream there. Actually, yeah, I was going to start the game from scratch again just to show the game all over again, but actually this is a way better endpoint than doing all of that. I'm just gonna play through the game, show this as a thumbnail, because that's all I technically do other than the hammer whacker. And then I'll be in the end, and yes, I'm gonna end the stream there and state what I'm gonna do in the next stream, which will probably require me not talking as much as usual. This is really cool though. Creation of the pixels. I'll bite. So, do you know how okay, fine, 5 more. So, do you know how the pixel came to be? A powerful magician among the ancients created them all about 3,000 years ago. He did it by transferring a spirit into a vessel he created for that purpose. He said to have created 12 pixels like this before he passed away. And Timpani was not one of them. But his apprentices kept researching pixels after his game ended. They learned to create many more pixels based on his original 12. These pixels became widely used as thinking tools for the grateful ancients. Though the work of many pixels, the ancients prospered as they had never done before. But that was a long time ago. there are no more pixels now, I understand. Hey, I'm a pixel. Well, except for some of the original pixels, who were scattered far and wide. That's what I thought. They lie in wait for a new master to arrive, and yet, here I am. I wouldn't be surprised if there was one hiding here in this very town. There was! The Pixel Uprising. So, have you heard about the Pixel Uprising? It happened in the capital of the Ancients some 2,000 years ago. The Ancients lived in prosperity thanks to the work of many pixels. But one day, that all ended. A huge pixel calling herself the Pixel Queen suddenly appeared. At her command, pixels everywhere rebelled against their ancient masters. Now I'm curious about the Pixel Queen. It seems that most pixels were well-contained spirits, but she was different. In her case, a demonic spirit was contained within a pixel vessel. And this Queen Pixel had the power to command all the other pixels. The ancients had become so dependent on the pixels, they were devastated. They suddenly lost their ability to build and rule their empire effectively. And what happened then, you ask? Come back for the next installment! Come back for the next installment! Okay, and what happened then? Come back for the next installment. More Pixel Uprising. So I think this all happens when you play through the game and he would say, I am completely out of stories to tell. So now let's continue my story about the Pixel Uprising. The ancients were overthrown and enslaved by the Pixel Revolt, led by the Pixel Queen. In the midst of the ruin appeared the inheritors of the 12 original Pixels. They defeated the waves of Pixel soldiers and freed the enslaved ancients. They used catch cards to trap the mind-controlled Pixel soldiers, then healed them. Oh sweet. They saw their friends fall one after the other in battle, but they persevered. The last survivor managed to make it to the castle of the Pixel Queen, but the Pixel Queen used her powers of illusion to hide. Just like Dementia, she then unleashed horrific images upon the surviving freedom fighter. One of the pixels at his side was immune to this, for it could see the truth. It helped the survivor fight, and he and his pixel finally defeated the Pixel Queen. But in the process, the pixel's game was ended. Oh geez, just like Timpani. Oh, looks like the going to get paid will only get you this far through the story. I'm all out. Pixel Uprising's end. Okay, so that guy was just a joker or whatever. Was saying, oh, looks like this will get you this far through the story. Oh, because it's like a payphone. Now for another exciting installment. The vanquisher of the Pixel Queen was confronted with an awful truth. It turned out that the Pixel Queen was actually the very first pixel that was ever created. The Master Magician had made her after studying the Dark Prognosticus. And so when the last surviving apprentice took the Dark Prognosticus from the Queen, he decided to disappear with the book so that this sort of catastrophe wouldn't repeat. But even as peace returned, the ancients could not lose their fear of the pixels. So the elders among the ancients gathered to discuss what to do. They decided to limit the powers of all pixels from that day forth, and the creation of new pixels was outlawed. As a result, the power and influence of the ancients began an irreversible decline. Now the secret of pixel creation was lost forever. Though rumors abound of awakened ancients and newly created pixels. Is that true? If you know anything about it, please tell me. One more, I guess. The Pixel Queen. This is way too interesting. I didn't even know about this. So, about the Pixel Queen from the Pixel Uprising. Did you know there have been interesting theories published about her? In one book left behind by the Master Magician's apprentice, I found... I'm gonna break my promise yet again and just continue until he's all out. Maybe even until I'm out of coins, because this is really cool. In one book left behind by the Master Magician's Apprentice, I found this. The spirit within the Pixel Queen was not a demon, but rather a human. The Master This is just like Undertale. The Master Wait! Now all is coming together. The Master Magician had a beautiful wife, a son, and a daughter. But he lost his wife and son in an accident. Soon after, his daughter caught a terrible illness, and her short game ended. Perhaps he transferred her spirit to a pixel vessel. Well, that's the theory. Okay, so that's where the short came from. That the son was actually Dementio, and that the son wasn't actually dead, but more like lost. So that's where it came from. I didn't even know that. Like, you can still learn things in Super Paper Mario, and Super Paper Mario is nearly 20 years old. Which is still insane. Perhaps he transferred her spirit into a pixel vessel? Well, that's a theory. Is it possible that the other pixels were spirits from the game over? Anyway, the person who published this has already disavowed that theory. I mean, it does seem a little unlikely, right? But if it were true, I bet the daughter was so horrified by the deeds of her father that she wanted no one to ever use pixels again. But what do I know? I do think nothing less would have broken the ancient's pixel dependency. Oh, and some say the son of the magician miraculously recovered from the accident. If so, the bloodline of the magician could endure. Could they find happiness? Nah. If the son was recovered, it was Dementio, and Dementio had extreme fury in his heart, or otherwise. I feel awful. You came here to see me, but I've got no stories to tell right now. Maybe I'll tell you a story I've told you before, but for free. Okay, so it's all the same. The original 12. So that's everything. So they tell you about all of that. So the final conclusion was about Dementio, the son of the magician and the Pixel Queen and stuff. Gonna save it the same place where I was before, but man, that was interesting. Maybe I'll do one of these days if I do another LP of Super Paper Mario. I'd do one of those bonuses where I say all those stories again, so you can see it over and over if you're ever curious. But I'm also going to do flip side stories in case it's just tutorials. But that's going to do it for this stream. How is my Wii Remote battery not dead yet? That's a shocking thing. I would expect that my Wii Remote battery would die by now. I'm going to turn off the Wii U. I'm going to turn off my sensor bar, but I'm not done yet with the stream because I'm going to say what I'm going to say what my next stream is. You never know everything about Super Paper Mario unless you do, and you're just some genius that has played the game for many hours. But even I've played the game for many hours and had no idea about all of that. So, yeah, happy Mario Day once again. I hope you enjoyed at least a little bit of what I did. If not, that's fine. Like, you can dislike the video if you enjoyed none of it, but I surely enjoyed whatever was there. Like, I enjoyed the Super Paper Mario stories that I had no idea about, like the Pixel Queen. Just the stories that they shared that would make you think about Thousand Year Door, because, of course, the Thousand Year Door was the past game. The Pixel Queen was just like the Shadow Queen, or just like Count Bleck, or even Super Dementio. And that the son of the magician was Dementio. So, that's why they did that short, was because Dementio was actually the son of the magician. Very interesting to know. And then, as well, just yeah, it's just very enjoyable all the same for having played through Super Paper Mario once more. I think I even played it for 86 hours now. But of course, in Super Paper Mario Logic, there would be a lot of editing to be done because of seeing every character's story scenes. Because every one of them would have a lot to say, even if some of them is the same. But that will do it. I've stated a lot about what I liked about Super Paper Mario, and I stated quite a bit about my thoughts on Mario Day. Just that I wish that they make a Nintendo Direct next month because it's my birth month for one, and it's the perfect time since it's after the Mario movie. Next stream, I'm going to play Kirby Air Riders. I'm going to do the new Top Riders mode, or whatever it's called, Top Ride mode. I'm going to do some more races and do probably 3 in Road Trip. And I'll state there that that next week won't be a streaming week. That when I'm going to stream for this week, or when I'm going to stream again, will be this week. I'm thinking the 12th, maybe at 10, but I was late last time, so I have no idea if that will work. If it does work, good. If it doesn't work, then you'll have seen why. So, yeah, I'm gonna play through Kirby Air Riders and state that for next week I'm not gonna be streaming anything. Just know that my planned streams for all of the weeks will be Kirby Air Riders, Repo, and then probably more Mario stuff, probably even a speed run. No matter how rusty I am, but I'm also gonna have to install a split. I sort of feel like testing it on stream, but I'm gonna off stream test it, see what happens for the power split. Because I think I installed that before. And it has helped a lot. I just have to get the hotkeys working again. Plus it would be my first speedrun in a while. The last speedrun I did, I think, was of Bowser's Fury. But I raged through that, so it never completed. It was never completed. Never meaning like in the latest. No, it was Super Mario Galaxy 2, I remembered. But I'm not doing any more speedruns until after I play through Super Mario Galaxies 1 and 2. So, I'll see you guys in the next stream where I play through Kirby Air Riders, doing 3 modes: Top Ride, Racing Mode, and Road Trip. At least let me express my 4 streams before I end it. Is for one of them, it's Kirby Air Riders. For the other, it's Repo. Then after that, looking at my weeks, the next time I would be back would be on the 25th of March, very likely. And what I will stream then is Repo. On the other one, which would be for the 30th, would be a Mario movie celebration stream where I play through Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mario Kart World. And what I will do in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is do an all Mario tourney with level 9 CPU. I'm no good at Super Smash Bros., but I am going to still try it anyways, just for the sake of celebration. Even though I'm also doing some premieres then, like on the 30th and 31st, I'm doing some premieres there. And then on another week, it will be probably more Mario for a bit. maybe thinking of doing a speed run then. It's gonna be either one of the three: a speed run, another Mario game, or Kirby Air Riders again. And then for my birthday, I'm doing a special stream of playing through Repo and I might even stream Roblox as well, but I don't know for sure. Because the games I want to play on my birthday are Repo and Grace, which is a Roblox game. So, we'll see what happens. Well, even if I do play the game Grace, then that's not even gonna be on. It's not even gonna be on stream because I know I'm gonna be heavily copyrighted. So thank you for the current viewers for enjoying it, and thank you future viewers for enjoying whatever you did in this timestamp. That's gonna do it. See you guys next stream.